eBay friends. Welcome to episode number 249 of eBay the Right Way. Today's date is December 24th, 2025. Christmas Eve, my personal favorite day of the year because the air is filled with anticipation and most people are in a happy and festive mood. My guest today is Kathy in Oregon. No announcements, so we will get started.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I have a repeat offender this week, and Kathy was last on in April of 22. So we could not believe it's been that long. How are you doing this? Well, it's morning for me, but afternoon for you. No, other way around.
Morning for me. 3 hours behind you.
I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. So yeah, it's noon here and it's 9 there. So, and you've had an eventful morning already.
I have.
Just
Our daughter's car broke down, so on her way to work. So my husband is en route to take care of AAA. Never a dull moment.
Well, let's do a little review of you, where you are, and how you got into eBay.
Okay. I am in Oregon, in the Willamette, if I can say it correctly, Willamette Valley, about 2 hours south of Portland. And I've been out here since 1986.
Oh,
I think. Yeah, officially longer here than I was in North Carolina. So
that's right. You're from
yes,
my neck of the woods.
I am. I was so surprised when you were talking about your little thrifting trip with, I think it was your sister. And you said
we went up to Boone to,
yes.
We saw the leaves, but we also saw some Goodwills. So I said,
yes,
you must stop.
Well, I was born and raised in West Jefferson, which is about 30 minutes from Boone.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you were from Raleigh for some reason.
I lived in I lived in Chapel Hill. I went to school at UNC.
So my memory is sort of still good.
Yes, I was in Chapel Hill for 10 years before we moved out here.
Okay, and is that where you went to school?
Yes.
And
for undergrad.
And tell me again your line of work.
It's been a crazy ride. I got a Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene at UNC. So I put my first husband through, my kid's dad, through undergrad and law school there. And when he finished, we decided, oh, maybe I should try law school too. So I applied and ended up at the University of Oregon, which is how we ended up in Springfield.
Okay.
So I went to school. I clerked for a circuit court judge for a year after I finished. And then I went to work for the district attorney's office. And that was my career for 25 years.
That's what I remember, that you were in the legal field.
Yes.
And, I love that people from all walks of life come to eBay.
Oh, yes.
Because, in this case, you're highly educated. You had a pretty tough job.
Yeah, I would say yes.
And you came to eBay and you're doing great, but that's not required. People from all walks of life, it works for anybody. It's so flexible. So I love to see that. We've had some folks on here that were, high up in corporations and highly educated. That makes no difference in learning eBay. Anybody can do it.
Absolutely. And I've always enjoyed collecting. The audience won't be able to see this, but you might see over my head, I've got a little problem with Santas.
I do see a bunch of Santas back there. And that's a real background. Mine's fake, but
it's real. You can see them all the way down there.
Okay. Well, we can get into talking about that too, because if that's your specialty.
I've always enjoyed going to auctions with my family when I was young, and then collecting, and then somehow I did a brick and mortar booths before I did eBay.
Okay.
And I started eBay in earnest about 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did you retire from the real world?
I retired. I just I just turned 69. I retired 10 and a half years ago. I
Oh,
retired at 59.
okay.
My husband there's an 8-year age gap between us. And so
Uh-huh.
he retired 14 years ago.
Hmm.
So I retired a little early just so we could enjoy traveling.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. What travels have you done recently? Because I do
We,
watch, I'm friends with you on Facebook, and it
yeah.
seems like I'm living vicariously through my Facebook friends that get to go fun places.
Well, we do a combination of RVing.
Right.
We really enjoy that. And we like cruising and and we're just trying some different things. We did a trip to Greece a year ago on a tour, and it was really, really fun. And then we did an Alaska cruise in September. And we are getting ready to go. I think I told you that we're going to do a RV caravan trip through the Baja Peninsula next month.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. It's a company that's they're licensed, they're based in Canada, but they're licensed in Mexico. So they make all the arrangements, set up all the campgrounds. We just follow along. I think there's about 12 rigs that are going.
That's what keeps me from traveling, well, so far, um, is the it's complicated to plan
Yes,
everything. So I
it
I
is.
need something like that where I can just sign up, like
Yes,
with groups, or even though you go with a group, you can still do your own thing, but it's all planned, and I'm in, and you pay your money and you go.
exactly. Exactly. We found a good travel agent and it's made a big difference because she just says, "Here, do this."
Right,
We do.
exactly. That's the way to do it. And
Yeah.
RV, I love that lifestyle just because it's so flexible. If you get
Yes.
somewhere and you want to stay there, you can stay there. If
Yes.
weather's bad and you got to change direction, then that's okay. You can do that.
That's true. We like it a lot. And I get to combine thrifting, sourcing. My husband is very indulgent. So when we go, this last January, we went with an RV friend couple that we travel with, and
Mm-hmm.
we went down through. We stayed in Arizona for about a month, and then came back through Southern California. And I got to thrift at all these places that, I like it because you find brands that I would never find here,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
so it makes it fun to just see what other places have. So that's always
Absolutely.
fun.
Yeah. And you've got the built-in storage to haul everything back. I'm
Yeah,
sure
as long
you're,
as I don't get too crazy.
yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure you're picky about not getting too many big items. Maybe.
Yes.
What do you focus on? Well, this is a good way to segue into how to thrift when you're RVing.
Okay. Okay. I do I do focus on smalls. We were we were in Denver visiting our son. I think it was about this time of year last year. And he said, "Hey, did I mention they live in Parker, which is outside of Denver?"
Mhm.
And he said, "Did I mention that the world's largest Goodwill is here?" And I'm like, "No, you did not." And
Okay,
so
wait. Maybe I need to go to Denver.
so we found the Goodwill and it was humongous. I don't know if it's the biggest one in the US, but it was big. And clothing was just awesome. I drug home way more clothing than I should have. Normally, I do a mix of hard goods and clothing, but that place was clothing rich. So that was fun.
Checking out places in my new location here. I went up to Mount Holly,
Hmm.
which is a little bit above Belmont, and it was like a one location thrift store, bargain something, and it was huge. It looked huge in the pictures, and big sign on the front window, 10,000 new items every week. And I was like, I gotta go check this out. So I go up there, and yeah, it was a huge store. I think it used to be a Value Village, if you're familiar with those.
Yes.
Um, but I'm looking and looking through all the racks, and I'm just not finding anything. I'm finding these really El Cheapo brands, and like, oh, this is a good thing. Stain. This is a good thing. Has a hole in it, button missing. Always something wrong with whatever I found. And I'm like, I went through all the clothes and didn't find anything. Well, then I discovered about a third of the store was their quote boutique area,
Uh-oh.
which it wasn't boutique stuff. It was just things marked up. So, $12 for an Eddie Bauer jacket. Like, it wasn't even a good one. I did find a few things, but they didn't seem to sort out defective things. Like Goodwill does a little bit better of a job of that, I think. They just put everything out there, and their charity is the kidney fund. So they pick up at your house. So that's how they're getting so much stuff. I came home with about 10 things. I'm not going to do that one again. That wasn't enough stuff for all the stuff that was in that store. I only picked 10 things.
Right.
So back to your giant Goodwill and too many clothes. That's a blessing.
Yes. Yes, it was nice. And I wish that I had a niche, but I don't. I am just kind of like all over the place. I like the research part of it. I don't know anybody that really likes the listing part, but I do like the research. So if I find something that I don't know anything about, I'll drag it home and figure out what it is or, what to do with it. So
Yeah.
my husband would appreciate the fact that if I would niche down a little bit, but oh no, I'm just all over the place. So,
Well, you can do it both ways. I think if you settle on specific specialties, you are limiting yourself.
yes,
I used
that's
to
true.
do books on Amazon a long time ago, and I was really learning that category. And I would go to the Goodwill stores and the used book stores and all of that, and I'd bring my little step stool because I'm 5'2", and everything was too high. I was like, I can't get up there and see those. So I had all my equipment, but there were certain people, this guy, I see him everywhere. He just does books. And,
Oh,
or, this guy just does cameras. And I just feel like if you're in the store anyway, why not look around? Because you might stumble on something that you've heard about and you've never found. And, like a Busilla stocking kit that sells for $100.
those are
Or
awesome.
something like that, where if I get it, having a specialty keeps you focused and you know more about that particular type of item. But like you said, the giant Goodwill in Denver, it's like I'd be in there for hours. I'd be looking at everything. Is there a Gymboree blanket in here that's worth $100? Is there, a shot glass that's worth a lot?
There's so much.
It's like, the amusement park for me. It's just, I got to look at everything.
Well, I will say that the Loveys that you guys are always, I have yet to find one ever in any place in the country. It's on my bucket list, but I never found one that
Oh,
was
you know
worth
what I
any
found
money.
at that terrible store was a Levi's trucker jacket with the Sherpa. Yeah, they had 25 on it. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna give this a whirl. It wasn't the valuable one. It was made in China. The valuable ones are made in USA. But it's on the Levi's website for $70. And they
Wow.
was out of stock. So who knows? I did find something, but you just never know which of those high dollar things are just going to pop up right in front of you. And on the group, people say that all the time. Oh, I've heard about this for years and I finally found one. So do not give up on the lovies.
I won't. I won't. I did find, I think this was last year around Christmas season. I found two, and in different times, different stores, two vintage tree skirts, handmade tree skirts from one of the Busilla kits. Beautiful sequins and all this beadwork and embroidery. And I just thought, who could donate these? But they did, and I sold both of them this year. I think one for like 80 and one for more like 45. And did not keep them, which is a big step for me because,
Right.
yeah.
Well, after moving all these times, I got rid of my Christmas stuff. I did buy a tree this year, $50 tree off Amazon. And so that's my goal here on out is I'm going to thrift Christmas decorations because they're out there all year and
Yes.
they're fun and they're unique. And I just don't want to order a whole bunch of junk from China. So I'm going to gradually build back up with Christmas stuff. I don't like a whole bunch, but interesting ornaments or things to make a wreath with, or, that kind of stuff. I want a little skinny Christmas tree for my porch. I'm seeing all my neighbors do that. And I'm like, I want to do that. So it is hard
cute.
to pull back on the Christmas, especially if it's for yourself.
That's true.
Okay. Well, do you want to talk about some things you've sold lately? Because one
sure.
reason I reached out to you is because you're so consistent.
That is hard for me. I'm glad you see that, but making myself motivated to list every day, it's hard, but I do. One of the things I found that has helped me, I was watching a YouTuber and she talked about doing things in batches.
Mm-hmm.
So doing the photography in batches, then you've got that done, and the next day you list, you've got your photographs. So it makes it not so overwhelming to say, I've got to go from step A all the way to step Z in one period of time.
Right.
And that has actually helped me be more consistent with listing to keep that algorithm happy.
Taking
Yes.
pictures like on one day, take a whole bunch of pictures.
Yes. And then the next day, actually do the listings after I've
Okay.
edited the photos. Mhm.
Well, you just got to do what works for you because
Yeah.
I'm the opposite. I do like I call it a back and forth day. I just pick a thing, take pictures, list it. Pick a thing, take pictures, list it. Because if I take pictures all day, I don't get anything listed. And sometimes things will sell that day or the next day. Everything sells eventually. I get so interrupted with life and stuff that I have a goal of 3 listings a day.
That's a good goal. That's doable.
I do a lot of other things, so I fit that in. I've done it both ways, and I'm gonna take all my pictures, but then I don't list, or on days that I list, I will schedule them for the following days. Like if I know I'm going to go shopping tomorrow on senior day or whatever, I will go ahead and schedule out a couple listings just to feed the algorithm and be active. So the moral of the story is you got to do what works for you.
Right. Well, we're very lucky here because for whatever reason, right in our hometown, all the Goodwills and St. Vincent de Paul, senior day is every day.
What?
10% off every day. So that's nice. And then you can use, coupons sometimes come out that are 20% off or something, but every day is 10%. So that's cuts it a little bit off.
And isn't your husband a veteran?
He is. He's a Marine.
Does he get a discount? Do you get that anywhere for Military Day? Okay.
Yes. We got that on Veterans Day. We were in one of our neighboring towns, and I didn't even think about it, and he heard it over the loudspeaker. Mm-hmm. So that was nice. Yeah. So we between the two of the things, we can generally get things at a little bit of a reduced price.
Yeah. You got to work those discounts.
You've
earned them, both of you.
I was in, speaking of finds, I was in our local St. Vincent de Paul. I think it was in September, and I hadn't found anything. I mean, I'd walked the whole store, and I was just kind of like, ugh. And I was leaving, and they have their quote unquote star attractions on racks up at the front of the store. So I just kind of walked through them before I was leaving, and I saw this blazer, and it caught my eye because it was Brooks Brothers. And I looked at it, and I saw it still had the tag hanging on it, $398. And
that's not the thrift store price.
No. It was new.
Okay.
Yeah, new with tags. And it was vintage. And so then I opened up one of the lapels, and I realized it was Loro Piana. I'd never found that marking before I'd heard about it. And so I looked at the St. Vinny's tag and it was $29.99. And I thought, well, I can't get this off the rack fast enough. So I go up
you
there.
get at least 100 for that.
Yeah. So I go up there and she says, oh, it's 25% off. So I got it for $22.99 because it was a color tag thing. I listed it for $197. I got a couple of lowball offers and then I got full price in about 10 days. So that was a good find.
That was $30 into how much again?
197.
Not a bad flip.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And then I found recently, do you know that brand Life is Good?
Absolutely. I love it. I love the t-shirts just because they're fun.
Especially with the dogs on them.
They're not like high profit really,
No.
but I've got a camping one listed. I've got a sunglasses one. Yeah, I just think they're fun.
They are fun. Well, I was in Goodwill and I was going through the linens and I saw this banner. It'd be like a yard banner that's double-sided that you put on a little pole. And it was Life is Good. And it was like a little RV or a little campground or something, really cute. Campfire, that's what it was, and a dog. And it was, I want to say, I think I paid $472 for it. Because I looked up the comps standing there and my eyes got wide. And I came home and listed it for $55 and it sold in a day to somebody in South Carolina.
Excellent.
I know. I had no idea that they made those.
Well, maybe they were a sponsor of an event.
Maybe.
There's so many outdoor yoga class or a 5K or something like that. And maybe that's where it came from.
Yeah. That was a surprise to me, but it sold very, very quickly. So that was nice. So I'll be on the lookout for that.
And that's an easy to ship thing. You just fold it up.
Yes. Okay. I like to buy art and things like that, but I don't want to ship it. So I do still have a brick and mortar booth in Springfield that I can haul stuff like that to, furniture. I don't want to have to ship gigantic things. So I have an outlet for that. Even if I want to buy it, I don't have to necessarily ship it.
And it's not that good. You don't know how. It's just not to. I get it. Yeah. I, of all people, get that. What did I ship this morning? A jacket, a book, I think a bra, some horse ribbons. Oh, and something I've had for a year that was bought last year and returned, and it sold again for $100. So
wow,
it was nice. Some Peter Max, which was a artist in the 70s. These groovy pillowcases. He did a lot of space stuff, and I got these on an online auction for like $16 for the pair. There's like nothing like it out there. But anyway, just an eBay story. The first lady that bought it, she was all about the measurements. Like the measurements wouldn't fit whatever she was trying to do with them. And I was like, well, you just get a pillow and put it in there. Apparently she was doing it for some kind of art, or she's going to cut it up or something. If it sold for $100 once, it'll sell for $100 again. So that's what I'm looking for too.
And that's why I do a mix of hard goods and clothing, but clothing's just so simple. I'm shipping out a couple of hats today and some little Santa candle huggers. But yeah, I don't sell like volume, but it's pretty steady.
Well, and that's most people.
Yeah.
You see a lot of these reels and YouTube videos, and I shipped 30 things today. And I think that's amazing. Like that would be my whole day, just shipping stuff, which is not a problem. If you've got other things going on in your life, then eBay is sort of like a side dish. It's not your main thing for most people. Most people are like us. They're fitting it in around their life. They're doing it for some extra cash and they love it. And it's not it's not like work most of the time.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah. Okay, well, what else you got on your list? Because you're a definite frequent poster on the Money Making Mondays.
I am. I really like we were talking about the kits. I really like to find those, the any kind of embroidery kit, if I take the time to look them up and make sure it's not terrible. But I like to ship those. I really didn't know anything about yarn. I'm not a knitter.
Mm-hmm.
I did cross stitch and that kind of thing, crewel back in the day, way before kids when life wasn't nuts. But I never got into any kind of knitting. But we have a local auction house here. He does the auction online, but then you can go pick it up. I don't have
Okay.
to have it shipped.
Perfect.
And yes, and you could go actually look at the stuff. He has a day that is a preview day. So he's just across town, so we go and check it out. And one of his auctions, he had some woman had just a huge yarn. I don't know what she did, but she had a lot of yarn. So I bid on some lots, and I think I only ended up paying about $50. And then I started sorting it out, and she had some really exotic stuff I certainly had never seen before. And that has paid off. I've probably made $300 off of that lot, and I'm not done with it yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a very easy thing to do. If you just get it listed, you just have to wait for the right buyer.
Mm-hmm.
But people are willing to pay up for it. I've been kind of surprised at what they will pay for the really nice stuff.
You got to wonder if are they in the middle of a project and they need more of it, or do they just love it and they don't see it very often? Is it discontinued? I always wonder the why behind
Yeah.
people buy
Yeah. That's true.
so that you can be a better seller and know what to buy and what to leave behind. If you
Right.
know the reason that and what they're doing with it.
Right.
Yeah. I was a
I've
cross
also,
stitcher too back in, let's see, I'm a little bit younger than you, but I was like a junior in high school.
mhm.
That was just what everybody did. You take it with you, on your beach trip or you whatever, you're always working on it. I have so many things that I made. I was the typical crafter. I had 87 projects lined up that I was never going to get to. And that was one of the first things I started selling when I started eBay, because I hadn't done it in years because kids.
Right.
And then the internet was a huge distraction for me. And I sold my books and my cross stitch floss and completed projects that were boxed up and never seen for years, and Christmas stuff. That's how I learned, wow, people really want this.
Yes, and I think that that's one of the things that at least our thrift stores, they tend to really undervalue completed pieces. I love to find framed stitching,
Mm-hmm.
any kind, crewel, especially needlepoint,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't understand how much work goes into it, I don't think, and that
Mm-hmm.
people will pay up for really nice pieces. I found a beautiful needlepoint that was pretty large a few months ago, and I couldn't get it out the door because my daughter claimed it. So it's like, dang
Ah.
it. I said, okay, it's on loan to you, but when you get done with it, I'm listing it. So it was
Okay.
cool.
So let's talk about your Santa stuff. That's just an interest, but you wouldn't say it's a specialty?
It's not a specialty. I've been collecting them for probably 30 years. I have stopped. I've stopped buying them for me. I mean, I still look out for them, but yeah, it was, some people would say it was a little out of control. My daughter thinks they're creepy. Fortunately, she has a best friend that has an antique store. She's been into antiques since she was a teenager. So I know that Lindsay will be able to take care of my collection, even though my daughter thinks they're creepy.
Well,
So
that was my next question, because when you are no more, what happens to your Santas? And does your daughter, do you have other children or just
we have
okay?
four
Like,
kids.
is
I have
anybody got dibs on that, or they're all like, Mom, yeah, these are going somewhere.
I think they'll be going somewhere.
Like my dad's mother's furniture. Okay. So after the depression, when people had money again, and they have the old couch with the, what do you call the back on it, when it's like a wave, and it's probably beautiful, but none of us kids wanted it. There's four of us, and he kept trying to give us her furniture, and we just, it's important to him because he grew up with it. A few years ago, they decided to figure out what to do with it, and a bed and breakfast nearby bought it from him, that wanted
Oh, wow.
that kind of stuff. So, I mean, just because your kids don't want your stuff doesn't mean nobody will.
True. No, I agree. I mean, like I said, Lindsay will be all over it. She'll be wanting to drag stuff out of here. Have well, like I said, we raised four kids in this house, and so our house is large. We filled up every inch of it, and so we are now starting to think about the downsizing because we're not getting any younger. And so I have started to look at things with a kind of a different idea. But I would say, with the exception of the furniture, especially like leather furniture and that kind of thing, and the beds, I think 80% of my house is probably thrifted from auctions and estate sales and that kind of thing. There's a lot. If people started going around and just pointing to stuff, I'd say, yep, thrifted, yep, thrifted. But it's been over a long span of time.
Well, and I do that too, but I rotate things. Like if I have any wall art or something interesting, I'll hang it up somewhere, put it on a shelf, display it until it sells. So I guess I'm living in a giant antique booth.
Right.
But that's okay. I don't mind. You get bored with stuff, and all these times I've moved, it's like a reset. Okay, I can let this go, I can let that go. But people that haven't moved in decades, okay, so this is my ex-mother-in-law I'm talking about. Like, she's been in the same house since 1972.
Oh, wow.
And she has every kindergarten finger paint that her boys did, and she's just saved everything. And so, like, my daughter, when she was reselling, she was, Nana, we could resell some of your stuff. She just won't face it. She won't let it go. And they're pretty much sure that her husband passed a few years ago, but like when she's gone and the house has to be sold, like, they're all like, we're just going to light a match to it, because you know what? It's just too much in there to go through. It's just going to be a nightmare. She wouldn't downsize. She won't go to like a senior living. She just wants to stay where everything's familiar, which I totally understand. But it does fall on the younger generations to dispose of all those items. And it's a very hard thing to do because it's so emotional. It's like, this thing meant so much to her, or I've seen it my whole life. And it's the decision making is the hard part.
It is the hard part. Well, our son is our executor, and he's pretty much of a minimalist. So everybody says, well, what do you think he'll do? I said, well, I think he'll pull up a 40-foot dumpster and
Exactly. Invite a bunch of eBayers over to go dumpster diving in the driveway.
Yes. Up until now, I have had a pretty active Facebook Marketplace account too for larger items. When we sold our boat, there's a lot of stuff that goes with having a boat.
Absolutely.
And some of it's way too big to put on eBay. So I've sold crab pots and all kinds of stuff on Marketplace, and that's been pretty easy, actually.
I had a guest on past year. I'll have to look up her name and put it at the end. I can see her face. That recall is a little slow. I think she lived kind of on the West Coast there, and she still sells a lot of boat things, sporting goods, rock climbing stuff. And, that's an area where if you've ever had a boat, you know what those things are.
Right.
The average
And people know the value.
The average person that might see it at Goodwill will be like, I don't even know what that is, and pass on it. And it's worth $80 or $100.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good for you. What is your highest dollar sale ever? Do you remember?
I think it was a set of Ray Dunn little dessert plates that were very, very early, that I had no idea when I picked them up. I mean, I knew they were her, but I didn't know that it was like before she, I guess, became famous or before
Hmm.
she had a collaboration with, I think these said Magenta,
Yeah,
but
before she
and they
got commercialized.
exactly. And they had little birds on them, and I think they went for 350.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you paid for them?
Oh, 269 a piece or
Oh,
something like
little.
that.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Do you remember if it had the EAR logo on it?
I don't think it did.
So that's her very early work for the listeners. That is her name backwards,
Okay.
EAR, and it has an ear on it. And that was her logo for a while. So if you find anything with that, it is definitely early work and more valuable
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
she got into the whole, in every TJ Maxx and every store you go in.
yeah, I don't pick her up anymore unless it is something obviously special because she is so saturated, like so many things that,
Right. Yeah, you got to get the early stuff, or like those brands that were big 10 years ago. There's so many of them now, like North Face. There's so
yeah.
many of them, and there's a lot of fakes. You really have to be picky and do your research. It just astounds me. It shouldn't after this long. Like, what can be faked?
I know. I somebody didn't know that Tommy Bahama was faked.
Mm-hmm.
And I started looking at what I had in my money pile, and I found one that, sure enough, someone had said, they pointed out that the pockets and everything on a real Tommy Bahama silk shirt are going to line up. The patterns are going to line
Mm-hmm.
up. I looked at that shirt I had, and I'm, nope,
Right.
this is
Yeah.
not good.
That's a big indication of a copy when they're just made so cheaply. And that's a detail that takes time when
Yes.
you're sewing to make sure the pattern lines up, just like on handbags. You can tell really easily if the pattern doesn't line up on the seams. Like, nope, that was a cheap copy.
Right. I've had that was another collection that I got into early on. I liked vintage handbags,
Mm-hmm.
and you used to pick them up so inexpensively because nobody cared about them. And so I had quite the thing going on. Well, now they're selling and doing pretty well, and nothing crazy, but just nice little, either the wicker purses or the beaded purses. It seemed to be a trend that's coming back around for whatever
Mm-hmm.
reason. And those are fun to sell. And I found a little lucite purse in Goodwill. I was
Oh,
shocked. This was just a couple of weeks ago. And I'm like, did they not know what this was? And no, they did not. It was just in there with the other purses. It was really cute.
for the listeners, that not everybody in Goodwill that works there knows anything, or do they care? They may just be there doing their 6 hour shift and they don't care. They're just put stuff on the floor. They have no skin in the game. It doesn't matter to them if a reseller buys it and resells it for $100. Yeah, they are getting a little greedy, marking stuff up and
Mhm.
put things in their boutique, but there's just no way they can catch everything. There's too much in there.
Well,
And
and that's the game for us is to
yes,
find the things they missed.
who knows? It could be the person's first day and they don't know anything about these brands and what they're worth. There are people in the back that pull things to put online, but
Absolutely.
they can't pull everything. They're not going to have enough stuff to put out in the store. So
That's
we're
true.
on like the hunt for the leftovers, for the things they missed, for what they don't know. And like the Ray Dunn, the ear logo.
Hmm.
How many people putting stuff out even know that? They probably don't even know it's Ray Dunn at all. It's just some ear logo.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you were talking about the RV life and what I can pick up. Jewelry is a good thing to pick up when I'm traveling, or I will take a batch with me because even when you're RVing, you've got downtime. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of a type A. I don't sit around very much. Um, there was after my husband retired, I was still working for 4 years, and when I finally retired, he was one morning sitting on the couch with his laptop and he's still in his robe. And our dog, Mitch, who's no longer with us, was lying down and I'm running around doing stuff. I think I was shipping, I don't know what all. And he finally just looked at Mitch and said, she just doesn't get it. How to just be retired. And I still don't. I mean, I do like being retired, but I don't sit still very often.
Are you a reader or audiobook listener?
Avid reader, but
Okay.
you know,
You should read if you haven't yet, because I don't think you're applying the principles if you have read it. The Art of Doing Nothing.
I have not read that. I'm getting better at it.
It teaches you that it's okay to do nothing. I mean, our society is just go, 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 go all the time. And you really have to build in time for self-care and doing nothing, because that's when you recharge. And that's when your brain is relaxed and you get ideas for things. But I'm with you on that. I feel like my worth is based on how much I struggle and how much I do. So if I'm relaxing, I'm not a worthy person. And
Yeah, I
that's
get
like
that.
wrong. You got to pamper the goose that lays the golden egg, which is yourself. If you're doing eBay, you've got to take breaks. And if you're traveling, enjoy nature. And that's when your body heals and recovers from all the stress of life.
That
So
is true.
that's my preachy thing to you, is the art of doing nothing. I challenge you to either listen to the book or do what it says.
That's a good idea. Well, I was going to say, if you hear snoring in the background, it's not me, it's our daughter's French bulldog.
Oh,
And
I don't.
he has this do nothing art down to a science.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he sleeps about 16 hours a day. And we take him for walks when my daughter's working. So that's our exercise. He likes to get out and sniff everything and pee on everything, and then he'll go back to his napping. But he's got it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, they say we should at least wake up like animals, don't jump out of the bed. Just take your time and stretch and wake up slow. It's better for your whole body that way. And so I'm living by that one.
That's a good one.
Okay. Well, how many items do you have in your store?
I'm generally around 600,
Okay.
give or
Good.
take. Yeah.
And what's your average number of items sold a week, a month?
5 or 6 a week,
Oh, that's
something
good.
like that. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
almost
it's
one a
not,
day. Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's about right. And of course, fourth quarter's been a little better, but it hasn't been crazy for me.
Mine hasn't either.
No,
I'm just waiting. I'm like, okay, where is everybody? When's the next payday for people? We'll probably get a little surge at the end of this week, which we're recording this on December 15th, as all those last minute people.
right.
And we'll get those emails. Can you express this? Can you overnight this? And I just don't. I did that one year. And like, if they buy it on the same day and they want overnight shipping, you gotta go to the post office and do it. I don't think you can do that through, well, if your mail's already been picked up, you definitely can't do it. But yeah, that's going to happen soon in the next few days.
Yeah, everybody gets stressed out and wants it. And, the mail has not been very reliable in terms of getting things there on time. So,
No, even Amazon. I've ordered some things and I have Prime and they're supposed to be delivered in 2 days and it's like arriving late. And
right.
I get it. I get that all the postal services are overwhelmed at this time of year. Well, then don't say when I buy it, it will be here on this day. Give another day, even though Prime is supposed to be 2 days. Yeah, that's happening already. So, and I have in my new location, my mail pickup is like 9 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And it used to be around 1 in the afternoon. So if things sold, I could still get them out there for pickup. I try to avoid the post office at all costs.
I have there's a little post office that's only 3 miles from our house, and it's really chill. I just take my packages in there. They have a bin behind the wall
Right.
to drop them into. Knock on wood, they have never not scanned anything that I know of. So I don't wait in line. I don't get a receipt. I don't do any. I just drop them and go. And that has worked out really well. I would not do that at some of our other post offices, but this one is small and
Yeah,
they
it
get it done.
depends. It depends on the post office. And my issue with going to the post office is that Taco Bell's right next to it. So I just sort of end up there after I drop off my stuff.
Well, St. Vincent de Paul is on the way to mine, so that's my
Okay,
problem.
yeah, there's that. So there's a distraction on the way when I'm like, get right back home and get back to listing. I keep a count of how many items I don't have listed yet. So I try to stay on top of that. But some days you just need, what does Tina Wozniak call it? Boredom buster.
Boredom
You
buster.
need to get out and see what's out there. Like what got donated? What's got my name on it? I got to go find out.
I might have missed something.
I know.
What's that called? FOMO, fear of missing out.
I know. And I just live by the fact that you don't know who's been there before you. You don't know what they're interested in. It could have been the book guy who's not even looking at clothing. You just don't know who's been there before you and what they want. You don't have to just shop for the items coming out the back door of the Goodwill. There is so much stuff in there that wasn't right for the people before me, and it's just waiting for me.
Right.
Or at least that's my mindset, so that I find stuff.
Plenty out there for everyone, I think.
Well, do you have any last words for the listeners? Can you believe we've already gone through our time?
No, I can't. I'd say just stay at it. We've heard a lot of stuff. I listen to a lot of podcasts, a lot of people talking about how eBay is just going downhill. And I know there's a lot of policy changes that are happening, this whole thing about promoted listings and stuff, which I don't promote very much. So I don't think it's going to affect me much one way or the other. But I just think it's still the best game in town. You can do other things, but to reach the audience they have, because a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to start my own channel. Okay, but you have to market it and you have to have the people that are interested in your stuff. And that takes a lot of money if you want to do that privately.
It's so competitive.
Yes.
My YouTube, I started it in 2007, sort of like as a teaching channel. Over the years, I've just watched the watch time and the views go down, and there's no complaints. It's just there's so many other ones to watch. You're competing for people's time. And that's one reason I went to doing the podcast is, okay, well, they don't have to sit there and watch a podcast. You can have it on when you're walking your dog or driving or doing something else. Where YouTube, yeah, you can listen to it, but if it's the shopping videos or people showing what they sold, it's visual. You've got to see it to know what they're talking about. Yeah, I hear that a lot. I'm going to start my own channel, and great for people doing that. It is a lot of work to get your momentum going, to get the views, and you can't even monetize it until you have a certain number of views or subscribers. There's criteria for when you can start monetizing it. So it's a lot of hoops to jump through. You got to pay your dues on that first. Hello.
Hello. She'll edit you out.
No, it's fine. My cat was making noise in the background the other day, and we just rolled with it. So yeah, and doing this since 2003, you just have to be adaptable to what you're selling, how you're selling, whether best offer or auctions, like what are you doing? And eBay changes, because it's not if, it's when. Things change all the time. And sometimes if eBay gets feedback, they'll change it back to the other way, the way it was before. Not everything is permanent if eBay sees it's not working. So like the promoted listing change that's coming in January, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and see what happens, because my feeling is a lot of people aren't going to do it. They're talking about this boycott of promoted listings. Like, I'm not going to do it. I'm taking all that off. Well, I look at that as an opportunity. If people stick with it and keep doing it, you're going to have fewer competitors because all these people are dropping like flies and they're not going to do it. So I'm going to look for how much am I being charged on the things I do promote? Is it changing? Is it drastically increasing? I think this is a situation where we have to wait and see what's going to happen before we can decide how we're going to respond to the change. It may not affect you at all.
Right. Let the dust settle and see what happens.
Yeah, just to wait and see. You can't just make your business decisions out of anger or resentment. Okay, well, let's see how this is going to go, kind of thing. So it's Monday. What are your big plans for the rest of the day?
I think that's funny that you asked that. I still have coffee once a week with after I left the office, we went to law school together, so we were best friends. But after I left, she became the district attorney, and we still have coffee every week. And along with her, it was her executive assistant. And we also do a girls' trip to Palm Springs every year, which is really fun. But they always ask me, so what's your one thing you're doing today? I say, well, I got to go to the post office or I got to go to the grocery store or something. What's the one thing? Because they were still working when I was retired. So they always thought it was funny that I didn't have anything big I needed to do and they had to go back to the office.
Right.
So now we're all retired. So that's good.
Well, let me just ask you, as a former district attorney, how accurate is Law and Order?
Not at all. And you can't get all that stuff solved in 60 minutes. It's just not going to happen. No, it's not. But don't tell anybody.
But we all know the doink doink sound of Law and Order.
Yes. I think it's almost impossible for us to watch those shows because you sit there and go, oh, come on, that's not, and you get yourself so caught up in that can't happen like
That's
that.
Wrong.
Exactly. It's not enjoyable anymore, so.
Well, I started watching that when it first came out in the mid 90s, maybe. And I watched all of them, the Criminal Intent and the Special Victims Unit and all the different spinoffs. And it's always on some streaming channel somewhere. That's my background for things. It's like, oh, I remember this case and how they solved it. And so many high profile actors, actresses were on that show. Yeah, it's a good comforting background noise for me, which is
So no, I think it's great. It's just my mom was hooked on NCIS. So
okay, I hadn't gotten into that one.
Yeah, they have a lot of episodes.
And I do the old forensic files that were on A&E, City Confidential, American Justice, all those ones that Bill Curtis and Paul Winfield narrated, because their voice is just so hypnotic. And
yes,
I can fall asleep to that, even if they're saying, oh, and we found the bones under the front porch. It's how they're saying it. They could be saying anything. So
it's melodic. It's comforting. I like that.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, well, anyway, I will let you go get on with your busy day. And thanks for making the time to come on. And we'll look for your sales on the Money Making Mondays as usual.
Okay. And appreciate you, Suzanne.
Well, thank you. And enjoy your trips coming up. That sounds amazing.
We will. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Some parting words. The person on the West Coast, who I couldn't think of, that sells boat and rock climbing stuff is Lisa. She's on episode number 221, and she's also located in Oregon. So I could see her face. I just couldn't come up with her name at that moment. So if you're listening, I apologize for that. Of course I remember you. Also, we mentioned starting a YouTube channel, and just to clarify, the criteria for monetization is you have to join the YouTube Partner Program by meeting specific criteria, 1,000 subscribers, and either 4,000 public watch hours or 10 million public shorts views over 90 days. So there's a little bit more to jumping on YouTube and creating a channel and making money from it. You have to jump through those hoops first. Also, a Suzanne side note, and this goes for any social media platform. You can buy fake subscribers and followers to make your channel look more robust than it really is. I learned this when I was blogging for 13 years. All the backdoor ways to build an audience that aren't even real. That's not a real audience when you buy fake subscribers and followers. You want real people who like your videos, that you can interact with, that can comment, like or dislike what you're doing, refer you to other people. And fake followers don't do that. It's all done with like bots and all this backdoor stuff. So that's another topic, but just keep in mind that everything on the internet isn't always what it seems. There's a lot of fake stuff going on behind the scenes. Okay, moving on. Next week, my guest is my sister-in-law, my brother's wife, Kim, who has many years of reselling experience with her antique booths. And she gives some clever tips on how to leverage antique booths into your reselling, some strategies I've never even thought of. And this is not just buying stuff from them to resell, there's other things you can do. She has also been in the pampered chef business for over 20 years and sheds light on some of the discontinued products we can look for, as well as why those items are still desired. So join us for our chat on New Year's Eve next week. Sending you all happy Christmas wishes, and I hope you enjoy your day no matter who you are with or what you are doing. Talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.